Terrorists have released 3 victims of 62 hostages of the Abuja-Kaduna train passengers that were abducted on March 28th. The victims, who consist of 2 males and a female, were released by the terrorists at a location inside the forest along the Kaduna-Abuja highway yesterday, and from there they were picked up by their relatives. It is, however, not clear if any money was paid to the terrorists to release the abducted victims. So far, 22 victims have regained their freedom.
Now, to discuss further on the security situation across Nigeria, we're now joined by Dr. Yahuza Getso. He's a security, intelligence, and investigation expert. Good morning, Dr. Yahuza Getso. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, we're having a very sad but important conversation about the Kaduna train attack victims. They've been in custody now for 120 days and counting. What really is the situation of things?
Good morning. Actually, the situation is really sad and pathetic, and it is exposing a kind of negligence, a kind of sabotage, internal, external, and within sabotage, and it is exhibiting the inability of government to deal with the situation accordingly, and it is very clear a testimonial to each and every Nigerians that Nigeria is no longer a safe environment. And it is also an explanation that Nigerians have lost confidence on the government in power. Why? Because of so many reasons. How can victims be under captivity in a location where it's known, in a location where can be traced, in a situation whereby government have invested and have been investing too much resources in terms of human and financial resources, but yet these guys cannot be able to gain their freedom. For someone to say that money have not been paid, that is just a story. If money have not been paid, why others are still in captivity? Why only one person was at the initial was released? And that very person had the probably highest level of accessibility to the resources, especially the public funds. Looking at the managing director of the Nigerian Bank of Agriculture, and the rest of people that were released subsequently, the 10 people, the 11 people, and the 3 people that were released recently. Well, the motive of kidnapping them may not only be efforts to gain the freedom for their colleagues that have been under custody of the government in the prisons and other places where government is detaining them. Yes, of course. They have even threatened kidnapping the president. Yep. And the governor of Kaduna, Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, which didn't really come to me as a surprise. And if that happens, I will also not be surprised.
Dr. Getso, yes. Dr. Getso, I just want to, step in with one of the things that you mentioned. You said that the place that these people are is known to the government. So can you clarify that is facts? The government knows where these people are. And then can you also help us as quickly as possible paint a picture of what we're dealing with here? Are we talking about thousands and thousands of these armed terrorists in these parts?
Well, let me justify the reason why I said where they are is known to government. There are 3 reasons. Northern Nigeria is structured. And not only Northern Nigeria, every part of Nigeria is structured. Structured in the sense you have ward head, you have village head, you have district head, you have emirs, and each and every one of them have an assigned geographical, territorial location that is assigned to him or to her. So, by our culture, I am a northerner, and I know northern Nigeria very well, and I know all the forests in northern Nigeria. I know all the hard to reach, and I know all the difficult terrain in Africa and Asian countries, not only in northern Nigeria or in Kaduna State or somewhere around Niger, Kaduna, and Kebbi. So there is no way a human being can move up to 50 kilometers without crossing between the vicinity of and territory of one village head or ward head or another. So whosoever is moving around that area, we have local hunters who normally provide such intelligence to our traditional authorities and who normally share this information among themselves and who can easily be utilized. There is no location, no forest where government and traditional institutions are not aware of who is living around that area. So this is one reason. The second reason is government, by the time they were kidnapped, it was around 20 kilometer radius to Kaduna, and they were able to get rid of it. So the sophisticated arms and ammunition, as well as other intelligent gadgets that we have, can easily be utilized in tracing them and tracking them. And three, those who have been kidnapped and those who have been released, there are a lot of intelligence information that the intelligence personnel who knows what I know, who knows I know what they know, who knows that I know what they can do, who knows that I know the capacity they have, and who knows that I know some of the intelligent gadgets they have that can easily be used in fast tracking and identifying the locations where these guys are, can easily be managed. But it is simply because of carelessness. It is simply because of inability. It is simply because none of the relatives is part of those who have been kidnapped, and so on and so forth. These are just the reasons, and some of the key reasons that I can explain.
Okay, so Dr. Yahuza, let's talk about what the hope is. We have a number of Nigerians still in captivity here, and they've been in captivity for 120 days. Let's not talk about the other ones. We've been doing countdowns for different parts of the country for different people who have been held in Bethel Baptist High School, people who have been held in captivity. Is there really hope? Yet some days ago, we're talking about how we're really running out of funds as debt servicing has surpassed our revenue. What really is the hope for the average Nigerian who is in captivity?
Well, the only hope, there is hope, of course. I'm confident that those who are in the captivity will also be released, because their families will not allow their people to continue to remain in captivity. I am very optimistic that the families of the three that were released yesterday were prompted by the video released day before yesterday or a few days ago, that those people in the captivity were beaten by these guys, and sending a message to Nigeria, international community, and the immediate family of those people in the captivity. And that is why they fastened the process, and they were able to get their family or their friends released. So I'm very optimistic that even others who are in the captivity, their families are also working hard to find a way forward, because we don't have a serious government that is really serious to manage this situation. So each and every family, despite the fact that government is claiming or is saying that the people should not pay ransom, I'm very confident that people will continue to mobilize ransom and pay to these guys, because a communication have been established 3 days after they were kidnapped. That is about 90 days ago. Sorry, 100 almost 17 days ago, because I know of a family who started communicating and negotiating 3 days after kidnapping these guys on the train when they were on the train between Kaduna and Abuja and Kaduna. So I'm very confident that there is hope. All of them will be released, and there is also hope that peace can be restored, and there is also hope that the security challenges can be managed, because this is something that, if at all we have a serious government, can be managed within 2 months or less, or just 3 months or thereby.
All right, Dr. Getso, I think we have to also acknowledge the fact that it seems you have a cold this morning. We can hear you snorting a little bit. But final question, because we need to let you go. I want to know, from your experience, you've been, in some of these places, I believe. You've also carried out your own investigation. Are these people Nigerians, or are they foreign mercenaries that, like the government has once in a while described them? And, what do you think is the motivation for their actions?
They are Nigerians, actually. There may be some few among them that may likely be foreigners, but I want to tell you that more than 90% of them are Nigerians, and the motive for all this activity is because of issues around bad governance and inability of the government to have a very good leadership that can make each and everybody to have himself or herself comfortable in the country where we are living. So, of course, there may be some kind of connivance or partnership and collaboration with the foreign mercenaries, because they have made mention, or they have identified themselves as ISWAP, that is Islamic State of West African, whatever, which is a bilateral and multilateral group, and that have a link with other foreign nationals and other bilateral and multilateral linkages. Yes, of course. There may be a collaboration and partnership with foreign mercenaries. But actually, from their accents and from the messages from the information I have gathered, and so far, even from the people who have been released, and also from the contact and communication I had with them, as far as I'm concerned, they are Nigerians. I have had a number of communications with them in terms of review and discussing a way forward to how to release the people in captivity. And at the same time, I also listened to the interviews some of the families, well-wishers, and friends had with them, friends of families and friends of those who are in captivity had with them. And I want to tell you sincerely and honestly that these guys are Nigerians. Even if they are foreigners, the foreigners are just a kind of cover-up that it may not be up to 1 or 2% that is partnering with them in terms of building their capacity, in terms of providing them with armaments and other things. And I want to tell you that also Nigerians within the northern Nigeria, and probably even within our security architecture, there are some unscrupulous elements who have been supporting them directly and indirectly with necessary requirements in terms of armaments, in terms of information, in terms of intelligence, in terms of all you may think of. And that is it.
This is a conversation that we cannot exhaust in one sitting. We certainly like to have you join us again, Dr. Yahuza Getso. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. I'll be available for you anytime.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you.